Hey everyone, how are we doing today? Mary Ellen Van Auken, Susan Jennings. We're the real estate ladies of North Atlanta. How are you doing today, Sue?
I'm doing fantastic, Mary Ellen. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's talk about today. We're going to talk about 10 things you should know that you should never store in your outdoor shed. That's an interesting one. If you have an outdoor shed or even garage, I think would be good too. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Arden, which is a property by Pulte Homes in Forsyth County. And we're going to talk what we love about North Atlanta, all the corporate headquarters here. And then we're going to have our design tip of the day. So let's get started. Let's talk about Arden by Pulte Homes in Forsyth County.
In a previous podcast, we talked about Arden at Lanier, which was by Peachtree Residential.
Yes.
So don't confuse that with Pulte Homes development called Arden that's in Cumming. The address actually is 5230 Hyde Road in Cumming.
Oh, yeah.
And this is an enclave of new construction homes in Forsyth County. They are near excellent schools, shopping, dining, recreation, and Georgia 400, of course. And in this community, you'll enjoy a high quality of living. And this is a very highly sought after area. This whole North Metro Atlanta area is coveted for the attractions to the area, the trees, the shopping, the dining, things like Fowler Park, Halcyon, the Big Creek Greenway, and other, just the access to other cities that are close to Cumming, which include Roswell and Alpharetta, of course. There are 3 home designs there. They are between 4 and 7 bedrooms each. They feature 2.5 to 6 bathrooms and 2 to 3 car garages.
Wow.
Amenities include, like I said, it's minutes to Georgia 400, highly ranked schools, 5 minutes from Vickery Village, 15 minutes from Halcyon and the Big Creek Greenway.
Yeah, and Vickery Village, we haven't really talked about that. We're going to have to talk about that. That's a cute little, I think there's 700 homes in there, believe it or not. And they're all different sizes. And it's like a work, play, restaurants. It's kind of really kind of cool place. And it just incoming. And it's a great place too. So close to Vickery Village, and there's some good restaurants in there too.
And there's great golf in that area also. Don't forget that.
Oh, golf and tennis. That's a given, right? Golf and tennis is always a given. All right, so let's dig in today about 10 things you should not store in an outdoor shed. Okay. Let's go, Sue. Let's start with number 1, which is paint. How many people are guilty of putting paint in places it shouldn't be?
Right. So unless your shed is incredibly insulated, which most of them are not, you should not keep paint in your outdoor shed because paint is actually very, very sensitive to changes in temperature. And it does not like extreme cold. It does not like the heat. It makes the paint very unstable, and then ultimately not usable. Keep all of your cans of primers, stains, spray paint, and so forth out of your uninsulated shed. Instead, store paints in a cool place in a dark area, such as a basement, and properly dispose of any paint that you no longer need or want so that you don't have to worry about finding storage space for it.
So let's tell you about how do we dry up paint, Sue? We have plenty of stories about that because we've had to do that for numerous clients. And one way is just to take cat litter and pour it in there and let it sit there and soak up the paint. And then you can dispose of it because you can't just throw paint out. You know what I mean? You have to dispose of it in the proper way. So that's just a little tidbit. Cat litter. Pour it in that paint.
My best recommendation for paint, and I have done this twice in my own situation, is to watch the Alpharetta and Roswell recycling centers and see when they have a paint collection day. Call them with the amount of paint that you have that you would like to drop off and get yourself scheduled to be able to do a drop off at one of their appropriate facilities on that particular day.
And if you don't have that time, which most of the time we don't know about it until hey, we're closing and we have to get rid of this paint, that's when you use the cat litter.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
So number 2 is batteries. Oh, that's an interesting one.
So usually everyday household batteries are attached to electronics or power tools, but you should never keep them in a shed where they can be exposed to heat and temperature changes and dampness, because chemical reactions occur within the batteries. They shorten the life of the battery and they make them very ineffective. So keep them away from fluctuating temperatures, keep them away from moisture. And in rare instances, they can explode. So aim for safety, store your batteries inside the house in a climate controlled area. And you can store power tools, for instance, with their batteries and chargers in a garage or basement whenever it's kept at a cooler, more consistent temperature, if that's possible. In Georgia, I'm not sure.
Yeah, not sure about that. It's always, I mean, I don't know. You go in garages and they're hot as heck. They really are. No matter what time of year, they're just going to keep that warm. Yeah, batteries. Keep them in a drawer in your kitchen or in your junk drawer or somewhere where you can get to them in a climate controlled situation. Number 3 is electronics. Oh my goodness. Why would you keep electronics in a shed?
I don't know at all because look, the sheds to me are very damp. They're exposed to moisture. They're exposed to heat. Your electronics are going to rust and the internal wiring is just not going to work. So why would you put them in there in the first place? You
People
can render
store stuff in a shed. I don't know why. Like they do in a basement or whatever, in a closet or whatever, but you just need something that's climate controlled.
So. Right. They need to be in an insulated space inside your house at the end of the day.
Absolutely. All right. Number 4.
Propane. Don't put your propane tank in your outdoor shed.
Why would you do that? You need to have it outside by your grill. I mean, isn't that where it's supposed to be?
Yeah. Store it in a safe space, or return your extra tanks. Don't have them hanging around. Take them back to Lowe's. Take them back to Home Depot. Take them back to wherever it was.
Kroger. I mean, Kroger has propane. Everybody, Publix, they all have propane. So that's that. This can definitely spark fires and stuff.
Exactly.
And we don't want that to happen. So we're kind of giving you this advice. Number 5. Oh, this is a funny one for Georgia. Because, we always talk about, let's see, cars on top of grass and stuff in a non-HOA. Tires. Okay. So if you have tires, I don't know, for your trucks or your cars, I don't know who would actually have extra tires lying around.
Right.
Would you have extra tires lying around? I wouldn't.
Like a lot of other things, if you keep your tires in an unsteady environment, those conditions can promote damage and deterioration. And then when you go to put it on your vehicle, they're just not safe to drive on any longer. So, cold temperatures can cause the rubber to freeze. Hot days can, cause them to rot as well. So, and moisture can also shorten the lifespan of tires as well. So play it safe and keep those extra tires either in a basement or some sort of climate controlled facility, if allowed, or maybe see if you can sell them to some other secondhand, place that takes tires. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't think I think nowadays, it's not like you have, we were both brought up in the North where remember our parents changed and have snow tires and regular tires and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't even see that anymore. So I don't know why people would have tires running around, but I would say there are things that are made of tires. So remember like mats or I don't know, there's a lot of things that are recycled, playgrounds and stuff. So be mindful of that, even though it's a tire, but if something is made of tire, I just wouldn't put it in that shed.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Number 8.
No, number 6.
Oh, number 6.
Anything made of fabric should not go.
God, I'm ahead of time. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
fabrics. Yeah, that just makes sense. You're not going
Mold
to
and mildew will grow on your fabric if you keep anything like that out there.
don't put an
Even
old
if you're,
couch out there. Don't put an
yeah,
old couch out there.
even if these things are kept in plastic bins, they're still going to get mold and mildew. Also, insects, moths, bugs, they all love fabric, and they're going to get into your fabric. They're going to chew holes through it. It becomes their food. So
Right.
don't keep fabric out there.
Yeah, you have an old couch, you have an old chair, give it away, give it to Goodwill, give it to something. Don't put it in a shed. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the only exception as to what you could keep maybe in a shed that's fabric might be something related to outdoor furniture.
Yeah. I still would keep that inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
Outside. Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't realize those covers on those chairs can be taken off. They can be washed and cleaned and put back on for the next season so that you always have fresh cushions.
Yeah. Because, all the pollen and everything else around here just eats all, and the sun damage on all these things, on the fabrics, on your chairs, your outdoor chairs and stuff.
Do you want a quick hack on how to get the cover back on your cushion after you've taken it off? Because when you go to put the fabric back on, it's going to stick to the cushion, right? And you're going to struggle to get it on. What you do is you take the insert to cushion and you put it in a plastic garbage bag. Slit the garbage bag slightly so that, you can then, once you get the cover on your pillow, you can reach in and just pull the plastic bag out of the inside of the cover.
Wow. That's a good hack.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it
a
works
bonus.
for your pillows. Like even if you take the covers off, like your pillows, your toss pillows on your living room sofa or something like that, put them in a plastic bag first. Slit the bag though, and then you can pull the plastic bag out when you've got the cover back on.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go to number 7.
Furniture and upholstered items. It goes along with the things we were just talking about. Don't keep them in your outdoor shed. Fabric is a no-go when it comes to being outdoors.
Yeah. Just yeah. I don't even know. I don't think we have to discuss that any longer.
I think if you have furniture that you need to store, go find one of those climate-controlled self-storage units and store it there. There are restrictions on what you can store in those facilities, but find out what those are before you rent one of those. But there's all different size units. There's all different price points of units. And if you just need something seasonally, maybe just rent one of those every 6 months or whatever you need off season.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. So number 8.
Don't store your food or your bird seed or your canned goods in a shed.
Yeah, but I see that some people probably, if they had bird seed or something, they probably would do that.
Right.
So I think this is a good tip because, you're like, well, birds are outside. We can put that in our shed.
Right. I mean, you're going to get unwanted guests if you store your pet food out there, things like that. You don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want little snakes or
Mice.
mouses. Yeah, that's better than rats, right? Mices or anything in our outdoor shed. No, definitely not.
And you can't put canned goods out there either because of fluctuations in temperature. I mean, the USDA does not recommend that because canned goods need to be kept at a stable temperature. Otherwise, the food does spoil inside the cans.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right, number 9.
Books, photos, and paper goods. Dampness is going to get to them.
Right. And people
Photos
just think,
and so forth can get mildew on them and mold. Yeah.
Some people think it's a shed. Okay, well, we can store other things in there like paper towels and toilet paper and stuff like that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. No good for you. All right, number 10. This is pretty funny. So we're going to end on a pretty funny note here. So this one has been just kind of a fun one. Let's just have some joking
I need someone to respond to this podcast who has actually done this.
Okay.
This one is, don't store your musical instrument out there. If somebody's done that, I want to know what musical instrument they've stored in their outdoor shed. And drums don't count.
Oh, yeah, like bongos, boop, 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 boop. But they're still real, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I put my piano in my outdoor shed. No, that's probably not. Or any kind of instrument.
Put your music nook inside your house and enjoy it. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some of these were pretty funny. So I think it's just this one is just kind of joking around what not to put in your shed. We don't have to really tell you, but if you do have any questions, you can reach out to us and we'll tell you whether you can put it in an outdoor shed or not.
And I
think
guarantee you, we can always find somebody who's done some of these things. So
right. And I think you have to also take garages in the same thing, which a lot of people, I think this can go / garage too. So anticipate in the garage, a lot of people like to put, I don't know, like canned goods. And I don't put you don't put any of that stuff in the garage either. Keep it in the house.
I know of somebody one time who was building a new house and the house wasn't done yet, but they had to move. So they stored all their furniture in their new garage that was brand new cement and everything. Well, cement and all takes time to cure. It takes time to dry out, believe it or not, and it holds a lot of moisture. And by the time they were ready to move in, which was a very short period of time, just a couple months, all of their furniture was covered in mold. And their rugs that had been rolled up were not usable. Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't store anything in your garage or your shed. That's just the best way to put it. The only things that should be in your garage and your shed are lawn equipment and your cars. That's it. Right. Nothing else. Nothing else should be in there. And tools. Tools.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of sports equipment. If your kids are going to use the basketball on the driveway at the basketball hoop, yeah, you can keep that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, most of this stuff you don't want in your garage too, as well.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we kind of killed that deal with what to put in a shed or a garage. So let's talk about what we love about North Atlanta. So there's so many corporate headquarters here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So Atlanta is really a great place for job opportunities. There's so many careers that really can grow and advance here in the Atlanta area. And we're proud of all of these major corporations that have decided to call Atlanta home. And many of these companies are here because they chose Atlanta because of the people that are here, competitive tax incentives that were given to them by the city of Atlanta, and just the fantastic quality of life for their employees. Some of these companies include Aflac, Asbury Automotive Group, Assurant, Delta Airlines. That's a big one that we all love. Yeah. Georgia Power, Global Payments, Graphic Packaging, Mohawk Industries. Mohawk's huge. Yes. They have a lot of manufacturing done up in Dalton, Georgia, up I-75. Before you get into Tennessee, you do go past a lot of Mohawk Industries facilities. NCR is right in Midtown.
Yep.
Newell Brands. Newell Rubbermaid, remember all that? Mm-hmm. Pulte Group, which is one of the home builders that we often highlight as far as new neighborhoods and communities. Southern Company, a great energy company. The Coca-Cola Company. Yes. We always say in Atlanta that Coca-Cola is Atlanta's drinking water.
Yes.
Yes. Home Depot.
Yes.
Home Depot is home to Atlanta, is home for Home Depot. UPS.
Yes.
Veritiv and Westrock.
I have one more that everybody will talk about, Chick-fil-A.
Yes, that's true. That's true, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, and they don't work on Sundays. So you cannot find a Chick-fil-A on Sundays. No. So I think just having the quality of life, and we see the Four Seasons here, and the school systems are good. I think it attracts a lot of companies to build their corporate headquarters here. And there's a lot more that we did not discuss. That was just only a couple of them. So there's a lot of big corporate headquarters here. So we do get a lot of relocation coming in here, maybe for a couple of years. Then they go out to another part, when they move their jobs and stuff. So we do get
some of them go overseas.
Yeah, they'll go overseas and then come back or whatever. So we do see that again. All right. Well, thank you for that. So let's talk about our design tip of the day. So today, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about only investing in pieces that you plan on keeping a long time.
Oh, interesting.
So, you really need, when you're shopping for furniture and so forth, you really need to prioritize your investment pieces. And so I always say somebody should start with, the rug, because if you're going to spend a lot of money on your rug, that's, where you're going to build your colors and the feel of your room from that.
Sure.
But you can go to places like Home Goods and all and get a rug for $400 rather than $4,000 from another store. So, you want to invest in well-made items that are going to serve you for years to come, that are something that you might plan on having for the next 10 years or more. And your trendier pieces, maybe you want to buy those at Home Goods, or things that you're going to toss in a couple months or a couple years. Maybe you want to buy those in a less expensive place. But you don't have to splurge on everything. Not everything has to come from your high-end furniture store. You can, invest in a few staple pieces like your couch or some tables. But maybe your lamps and your other smaller pieces come from, a less expensive place. And you kind of blend your, higher end pieces with your less expensive pieces to stay in budget. And your less expensive pieces would include like your blankets, your throw pillows, some smaller rugs, maybe even some lamps.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I think you have to invest in that piece, that special piece that's going to be like the center point when you look in the house, like when you're going through the house. So that's good. Well, great.
And I always say start with your most expensive piece and go from there as far as your decorating.
All right. Well, that was a great design tip of the day. Thank you for listening to us. We talked about some fun things today about shed/garage, whatever you want to say, 10 things you should not store in your garage or in your shed, and a community incoming. And we talked about corporate headquarters, how many of them are here in Georgia and why people are coming here, and our design tip of the day. So thanks for listening to us. Thank you, Sue. Thanks for all the great information that we have today, and we will talk with you soon. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.